everybody, it's Kenny, and today we're going to do a little bit of a yoga power flow basics class. So let's go ahead and get started in child's pose. So work your way down to your mats, let your knees fall open nice and wide, bring your big toes to touch behind you, press those hips back towards your heels, reach those arms nice and long in front of you, and rest that forehead on your mat. Attention inward, focusing on that breath. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, let it go. Another deep breath in, really fill up the belly, expand the ribs. Exhale, let it all go. So continue with this nice deep pattern of breathing throughout your practice today. It'll help keep you grounded, focused, and help relax the mind. And if it feels good to you, maybe rock your forehead from side to side, massaging that forehead, the third eye center. And then something that I like to do in my child's pose is maybe gently turn your head to one side slightly and place one of your temples on the mat. Helps to give a gentle neck stretch. Breathe into it. Then bring your forehead back down to the mat, and then if you like, you can place your opposite temple on the mat, evening things out. Then bring the forehead back down to your mat, and then gently lift keeping the fingers on the mat, gently lift the palms up and the forearms. See if you could press those hips back just a little bit further towards the heels. And lower the arms back down. Once again, finding whatever movements feel good. Nice deep breaths. Slowly make your way up to a tabletop position, coming up to all fours, stacking those wrists under the shoulders, the knees stack under the hips. And we're going to do a little bit of wrist stretches here, warming up the wrists here. So right now your fingers are pointing straight ahead. So what I'd like you to do is point the fingers inward so that they face each other, and then maybe find a little gentle movements through the hips, rocking forward and back, maybe side to side, giving you a little gentle wrist stretch. And then take the fingers and point them back towards the body, stretching out the forearms a little bit, finding whatever movements you need. And finally, take the fingers and face them pointing outward from each other, and do the same. Then bring the hands back so the fingertips face forward. And we're going to go through some cat-cows. So we're going to do a slight variation the first time through. So what I'd like you to do is take a deep breath in and drop the belly, lift the gaze. And while holding your cow pose, gently rock it a few times, getting a little bit more out of it. And then come back to our neutral spine. We're going to take our cat pose, so round up through the back, tuck your chin to your chest, and holding your cat pose, gently rock it forward and back. And then come back to our neutral spine. We're going to do that one more time, now that we know where we're going. So take a deep breath in, drop the belly, lift the gaze, hold that cow pose, and rock it forward and back. Back to neutral, round up through the spine, cat pose, rock it forward and back. and come back to our tabletop. So now that we've gone through that variation, we're going to take a couple of traditional cat-cows, see if you can get a little bit more out of it. So deep breath in, drop the belly, lift the gaze, cow pose. Exhale, round up through the spine, cat. Inhale, drop the gaze. Exhale, round up through the spine. And go through a few more rounds on your own breath, your own pace. Whatever feels good to you. This is your practice, so you do what you do, you go where you go. Only you know what you're feeling. Then after your next round, we're going to come back to our neutral tabletop, curl the toes under, lift the hips high, and press back to our first downward facing dog. This time here, we're going to pedal through the heels a little bit, maybe bend the knees, sway those hips side to side, maybe shake the head yes and no. Find whatever movement feels good to shake off all those cobwebs. And once again, breathe nice and deep. And come to stillness. Let's take a nice deep breath in together. Lift the heels, bend the knees, and slowly make your way to the top of your mat. Heel toe the feet about hip width distance, so about 2 fist widths between the feet. Grab onto your elbows and allow yourself to hang nice and heavy in your ragdoll pose. So you can maybe sway side to side. Shake the head yes and no. Maybe lift those toes to engage the feet. Helps to relax the leg muscles a little bit. Allowing you to fold a little bit deeper. Maybe think about drawing those ribs to your thighs. Folding yourself in half. And carefully release the elbows. Allow the fingertips to drape towards the mat. Slowly bend the knees and carefully rise all the way up to standing. Reach. Take a nice deep breath in. Reach up. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer at heart center, then down by your side for our Tadasana, or mountain pose. So roll those shoulders back and down. Fingertips press towards the earth. Lift those toes, engage the feet, squeeze the thighs together. You can take your gaze upward or close the eyes, whatever feels good. Pausing here for a few deep, powerful breaths. On your next breath in, reach the arms up nice and high. Grab onto that left wrist with the right hand and lean over to the right side. Bring it back to center. Grab that right wrist, lean over to the left side. Back to center, nice deep breath in. Then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, take those hands to your shins for a halfway lift. Roll the shoulders back and down, flatten out that spine. Shine the crown of your head forward. Take another deep. Exhale, plant the hands in the mat and step it back to a high plank, high push-up position. Holding the first time here, so make sure you're pressing the mat away from you. Squeeze the thighs together. Heels press firmly towards the back of your mat. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, gently lower all the way down your mats. Squeeze those elbows like you're squeezing a tube of toothpaste. Deep breath in, lift that chest, cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up to tabletop. And exhale, press it back to downward facing dog. So that is your first option for your vinyasa, your flow this afternoon as it may be, or evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. So let's take another deep breath in, lift the heels, bend the knees, travel forward. Inhale, find that half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up nice and tall, reach up. Deep breath in. Grab on that left wrist, lean right, back to center, grab that right wrist, lean left, back to center, deep breath in, reach up, exhale, forward fold, inhale, half lift, exhale, plant the hands to your mat and step back to high plank, take a deep breath in, exhale, lower your knees, your chest and your chin to the mat, keeping the seat slightly elevated. Once again, squeeze those elbows nice and tight to the ribs. Inhale, lift that chest for Cobra Pose. And exhale, press back to Downward Facing Dog. So that is your second option for your Vinyasa flow today. Deep breath in, lift the heels, bend the knees, travel to the top of your mats. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up nice and tall, reach up. Maybe add a little baby back bend if that feels good this time around. And then grab onto that left wrist, lean right. Back to center, grab the right wrist, lean left. Back to center, deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant those hands back to high plank. This time on your inhale, slightly on the toes. Exhale, lower halfway down, squeeze those elbows into the ribs. Inhale, pull that chest forward, pull the lungs forward, upward facing dog. Squeezing those thighs together, squeezing the ankles towards each other. And press back to Downward Facing Dog. Nice job, everybody. So that is your third option for your Vinyasa or your flow. Fourth option is just to simply skip the flow at any time and just press back to Down Dog. No harm in doing that. And also know the Child's Pose is available to you should you need to reground, refocus, reconnect, maybe grab a drink of water, or whatever you need to do. So we're going to flow through that series just one more time. Deep breath in, lift the heels, bend the knees, travel forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up nice and tall. Grab that left wrist, lean right. Back to center, grab the right wrist, lean left. Back to center, deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands in the mat, step back to high plank. Lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Downward facing. Alright, so that was our Sun A series. Now we're going to progress to our Sun Bs. So take a nice deep breath in, lift the heels, bend the knees, travel forward to the top of the mat. Lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up nice and tall. Exhale, sink those hips, bend the knees, chair pose. So with this pose, you're going to want to make sure you keep the weight in the heels. It helps if you lift the toes. Roll the shoulders back and down. Nice deep breaths. Deep breath in, stand up nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands in the mat. Step back to high plank. Exhale, low plank. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. On your next inhale, send that right leg high to the sky. Step that foot through between the hands. Dial down that back foot. Spin it flat. And let's rise up to our Warrior One. So hips are squared to the front. Shoulders roll back and down. Nice deep bend in that front knee. Keeping that knee either stacked over the ankle or slightly out towards the pinky toe. You don't want it caving inward because it stresses the knee ligaments. And with that back foot, you want that knife edge of your foot and the heel firmly planted to the mat. So while we're hanging out here in this pose, see if you can maybe lift those toes to engage the feet, relaxing the legs. See if it allows you to sink a little bit deeper into the pose. Nice job, everybody. Deep breath in, and exhale, open up to Warrior Two. This time we want the hips squared to the side, pressing the room apart from front to back. Gaze over that front middle finger. Roll those shoulders back and down. Once again, lift those toes, engage the feet. Sink into the pose a little deeper. Flip that front palm to the sky. Deep breath in, reach back, and reverse your warrior. Still keeping that nice deep bend in the front knee. Breathing into this. Another deep breath in, reach back a little further. Exhale, bring the hands down to your mat. Step back to high plank. Lower down halfway. Up dog. And down dog. Next inhale, send that left leg high. Step the foot through. Dial down that back foot. Sweep the arms up nice and high. Warrior one. Switch sides so I'm facing you. So once again, lift those toes, engage the feet, sink into the pose. Up, warrior two. Gaze over that front middle finger, press the room apart from front to back. Flip that front palm to the sky. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Deep bend in that front knee. Another deep breath in, reach back a little further. Exhale, plant the hands to the mat. Step it back. Lower halfway down. Up dog. And downward facing dog. Nice job. Take a deep breath in. Lift the heels. Bend the knees. Travel forward. Inhale, find that half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms nice and tall. Exhale, sink, chair pose. Deep breath in, stand up nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands to the mat. Step it back and flow. Low plank, up dog, and down dog. Inhale, the right leg high. Step the foot through, dial down the arms high, warrior one. Deep breath in, open up to warrior two. Flip that front palm, reach back, reverse. Exhale, hands find the mat. Step back and flow. Inhale, left leg high. Step the foot through, dial down the back foot. Sweep the hands up, warrior one. Open up to two. Flip that palm, reach back, reverse. Exhale, hands find the mat. Step it back and flow. Alright then, we're going to go through that series 2 more times. So let's get ready for that. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, open the mouth, let it all go. Another deep breath in. Exhale, let it go, and let's flow. Deep breath in, lift the heels, bend the knees, travel forward, half lift, forward fold. Inhale, arms high, sink the hips, chair pose. Deep breath in, stand nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands in the mat. Step it back, and let's flow. Up dog, and down dog. Inhale, right leg high. Step the foot through, dial down the back foot. Warrior one. Open up to two. Flip that palm, reach back, reverse. Exhale, hands to the mat, step it back. Low plank, up dog, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg high. Step the foot through, dial down the back foot. Warrior one. Open up to two. Palm, reach back, reverse. Exhale, hands find the mat. Step it back and flow. Alright, everybody, one more time. Deep breath in, lift the heels. Bend the knees. Travel forward. Half lift. Forward fold. Reach nice and tall. Sink those hips. Chair pose. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, lower down halfway, up dog, downward facing dog. Inhale, sends that right leg high, step the foot through, rise, open up to 2, flip the palm, reverse, exhale, hands find the mat, step it back, lower down halfway, up dog, down dog. Inhale, left leg high, step it through, rise up, warrior 1, open up to 2, flip that front palm, reach back, reverse, exhale, hands to the mat, step it back, low plank, up dog, and downward facing dog. Nice job, everybody. Now once we've all found our downward facing dog, let's slowly lower down to our knees, and let's take a big juicy child's pose. So regrounding, refocusing, reconnecting. So if you like, you can bring the lower back, and also if you want to give the shoulders a little bit of loving, you can take the arms down by your side, or shoulder stretch. If they're not already there, bring your hands out to the front. Make your way up to a tabletop. Curl the toes under and press back to downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath in. Lift that right leg high to the sky. Step that foot through between the hands. This time staying on the ball of the back foot so both feet are facing forward. Rise up for your crescent lunge. So with this one, you're going to want the back leg either nice and straight, or if you want to modify, you can lower that knee to the ground, whichever serves you today. Once again, breathe into the pose. Take another deep breath in. Reach up nice and tall. This time on your exhale, bring your hands to prayer at heart center. Take a nice deep breath in to straighten out the spine. Then on your exhale, take your left elbow, hook it over your right knee, and find your prayer twist to your right side. So once again, with this pose, if you like, you can keep the back leg straight, or if you want, you can lower the knee to the ground, because this pose is about the twist. It's not about the balance, so if you twist, trying to keep your balance, you're better off dropping that back knee. Also, if you like a variation, if you want to go from the prayer twist, you can open the wings if you like. Straighten out the arms a little bit if that serves you. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, lower your hands down to your mat. Lift the back knee if you've lowered it. Dial down the back foot. And let's find our way up to our warrior 2. So it's a familiar pose. We've done this several times already. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, we're going to find side angle. So take that left hand, reach it up, pull that shoulder back, keep your gaze upward, and take your right elbow to your right thigh. The most important thing about this pose is you want to keep that openness in your chest. So if you need a little bit more, you can take your hand, slide it down your leg, down to your ankle, or down to the mat. Just make sure you don't sacrifice the openness in the chest. Maybe pull that top shoulder, press the hips forward, helps to open a little bit more. If you have a block, it's a great pose for that, by placing a block, more openness and space. Find another deep breath in, reach up, exhale, plant the hands to the mat, step the right foot back to meet the left. And what we're going to do now, from our high plank, spin on the knife edge of your left foot, And reach that right hand high to the sky, finding your side plank pose. So with this pose, you can drop that bottom knee to modify if you like. You can amplify the pose by lifting that top leg, maybe taking a tree variation, or if you can, grab onto your big toe. So whatever feels good to you, whatever variation you like, go there. See if you can lift those hips up a little bit higher. Slowly lower that hand down and press back to downward facing dog. So from here on out, I'll just cue you down to step back to down dog, but if you would like to go through a flow at any time, you can go through it. We'll wait for you. So whatever variation feels good, just do that. So now we're going to do the Vitality Series A on the other side. Take a nice deep breath in, lift that left leg high, step the foot through, keep that back foot straight, stay on the ball of the back foot, sweep the arms high, crescent lunge. Once again, back leg is straight, or you can drop the back knee. Taking a couple breaths here, sink. Another breath in, reach up nice and tall. Exhale, bring those hands to prayer. Deep breath in, lengthen that spine. Exhale, take your twist to your left side this time, hooking that right elbow over the left thigh. Once again, you could either keep that back leg lifted or lower, whatever helps facilitate the twist. That's where you need to be. And if you like, you could open those arms like wings if that's your thing. You got that variation. It's your practice. You go where you go. Take what you need. But most importantly, breathe. Slowly lower the hands down to your mat, down on that back foot, and let's find our way up to our Warrior Two. From here, once again, we're going to find our side angles. This time, take that right hand, lift it up to the sky, pull that shoulder back, gaze upward. Take the left elbow to the left thigh. Once again, you want that openness in the chest. And if you got that, if you want a little bit more, you can take that hand, take it down to your ankle or down to the mat, or to a block if you have one. Once again, pull that top shoulder back, push the hips forward, helps to create more openness. Breathe into it. One more breath in, reach up nice and high. Exhale, bring the hand down to the mat. Step back to a high plank, and then spin onto the knife edge of your right foot this time. Reach that high for a side plank. Once again, you got the variations. You could drop the knee. You can lift the top leg. Tree pose. Grab a toe, whatever you want to do. Lift those hips up a little bit higher if you can. One more deep breath in. Exhale, plant the hands to the mat. And press back to downward facing dog, or if you want to flow, you can shift forward to a high plank, lower down halfway, up dog, and downward facing dog if you want to. Alright, coming to our Vitality Series B. Deep breath in, lift the heels, bend the knees, travel forward to the top of your mats. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, sink the hips nice and low, chair pose. Once again, keep the weight in the heels, lift those toes, squeeze the knee. Roll the shoulders back and down. Deep breath in. Then on your exhale, we're going to bring our hands to prayer at heart center and take our twist to our right side, just like we did in our crescent twist. But this time you're going to want to peek down, make sure your knees are in alignment with each other. So if that left knee is sticking further forward, pull back on that left hip to even that out. Twisting poses, I find it helpful if you press with the knee, elbow instead of the other way. As pressing with the knee helps to engage the lower part of the body, creating a little bit more of a stability in the pose. So see if that works for you. Slowly release out of the pose, coming to a forward fold. Inhale, find a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Then gently heel toe the feet, hip width distance, about 2/5 width between the feet. Take your peace finger as your first two fingers and your big toes, and allow yourself to hang nice and heavy in your yogi toe lock. So relax the neck, relax the shoulders, allow everything to hang nice and heavy, maybe rock side to side, and shake the head yes and no if that feels good. And if this pose doesn't feel good for some reason, just find another forward bend that does. You could just let the arms hang heavy. You could take ragdoll as we did earlier. You can clasp the hands behind the back, finding a shoulder rinse. Just whatever you do, you go where you go. Slowly release the toes. Heel toe the feet back together. Inhale, find the half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms nice and high. Exhale, sink those hips. Final chair pose of the class. Once again, lift those toes to engage the feet. Sink the weight in the heels. Since this is our last one, see if we can make this our best one. Sink those hips just a little bit deeper. Then gently bring the hands to prayer at heart center. And we're going to take our twist over to our left side. So hooking that right elbow over the left thigh this time. So once again, check time, making sure the right knee is not forward. If it is, pull back on a hip to readjust. Once again, press the knee into the elbow, creating more stability. Breathe nice and deep. Slowly release the hands to your mat, coming to a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then once again, heel toe the feet, hip width distance. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to take gorilla pose. So take the palms of your hands under your feet. So you're basically standing on your hands. You can keep the knees bent or straighten them. If the knees are bent, you get more of a back. If the knees are straight, you get more of a hamstring stretch. So pick whatever variation serves you. Once again, relax the neck and the shoulder. Allow that head to hang heavy. Find whatever movement feels good. Carefully slide those palms out from underneath the feet. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, fold. This time we're going to heel toe the feet the distance of our mats. Lower the hips down, finding our yogi squat. So take those elbows, press the knees nice and wide. Sit up nice and tall. You can keep the eyes open or close them. If you have a block, this is a great pose to use. You could sit block. If it's posed a little bit rough on your knees or hips, you can sit there and allow everything to just open up. It can be a very relaxing pose. If you allow it to be, just simply breathe. Allow the hips to sink. And allow everything to just open up and calm down. If the eyes are closed, gently blink them back open. Place the hands onto your mats. Inhale, lift those hips up. Heel toe the feet back together. Inhale, find that half lift. Exhale, fold. On your next inhale, slightly bend the knees and slowly rise all the way up to standing. Reaching nice and tall. Maybe walk out those feet Should feel good after all that bending and twisting. Maybe add a little back bend if that feels good. Roll out the shoulders if you need to. Back at center with our hands at prayer at heart center. We do our balancing series, so we're going to start off with tree pose. So we're going to ground down to that right foot. Take that left foot over to your right ankle, or you can take it up to your right calf, or all the way up to your right inner thigh, just anywhere above or below the knee, because once again, if you put that pressure on the knee, it stresses the knee ligaments, and nobody wants that. So just for you can keep the hands at prayer at heart center. If you want, you can raise the arms up, or I've seen people even put their arms out to the side. Do whatever you like. It also helps if you have something that's not moving, find a non-moving focal point, and then just simply catch your balance and be free. Okay, from here we're going to bring our hands back to prayer at heart center if they're not there already. Hug that knee up into the chest, deep breath in. Exhale, press the foot back behind you. Take the arms long out to your sides, palms facing down for airplane pose. So roll those shoulders back and down. Flex that back, point towards the ground. Hips are squared to the front. Breathing nice and deep. Keeping the back leg elevated, gently lower the hands down to your mats. Find your three-point balance or standing splits. The difference between the two is if you're in three-point balance, the hips are squared, so you probably won't be able to lift your leg up as high. And if you do standing splits, the hip is open, so you can lift that leg up just a little bit higher. So it's basically all in the hips. Slowly lower that left leg down to meet the right. Inhale, find a half lift. Exhale, forward. All the way up to standing. Once again, whatever movement feels good. Walk out the legs, a little back bend. Bring the hands back to prayer. We're going to ground down and do our bouncing series. So ground down to that left foot. Left calf. Up to the left inner thigh, anywhere above or below the knee. Set your gaze, your focal point. You can keep the hands at prayer, grow your branches. Go where you go, relax, and be a tree. So bring the hands back to prayer at heart center if they're not already there. Lift that knee up to the chest. Kick that foot back, arms down by the sides. Airplane pose on this side. Back leg elevated, gently lower the hands down to your mat. Or standing. And slowly lower that right foot to meet the left, coming to a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. One more time. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Exhale, plant the hands to the mat. And step back to downward facing dog. Or if you like, you can take a flow by shifting forward to a high plank. Lower down halfway. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Lift that right foot high to the sky. Exhale, step that foot through. Dial down the back foot. Rise up, warrior one. Open up to warrior two. From here, we're going to go triangle pose. So we're going to carefully straighten that front leg. Take that left hand up to the sky, reach the arm up and back, opening the shoulder and the chest, keep that gaze upward. And while you're looking up, take that right hand and gently slide it down that right leg, finding your triangle pose. So this is another one of those poses where the most important thing is that openness in the chest. So wherever you need to go, doesn't matter how far this hand goes down a leg, that's pretty much irrelevant. You just want that openness. And also this is a great pose for a block. Placing it in front of that front foot helps to create more openness and space. Once again, pull that shoulder back, push the hips forward, helps make things a little bit more open. Slowly lower that top hand. Both hands frame that front foot a little bit, and we're going to fold over that straightened front leg for pyramid pose. So once again, it's another great pose for a block. Place your hands on a block in front of that front foot. Helps to flatten out that spine. Helps you fold nice and deep. And another little tidbit of information helps me is sometimes my hamstrings are a little tight and I can't. What I like to do is simply tip forward, straighten the front leg, and then re-land the back leg. Works for me, maybe it'll work for you too. Slowly begin to bend that front knee and take those hands. Walk to your left side, facing the side of your mat. Separate those feet as wide as you would need them to be for a standing wide-legged straddle fold. And from here, there's so many arm variations. You can just leave the hands flat on the mat. You can grab on your ankles if you like. You can reach the hands back between the legs. You can take the hands, clasp them behind your back for a shoulder rinse if that serves you. Just so many variations. Go where you go. Nice thing about this is we get to do this all over again on the other side. So if you find a variation you like, you get to do it again. And if you want to try something different, you get a chance to do it something different. So just breathe and enjoy. The hands are up. Gently lower them back to the mat and carefully walk over to your right foot. Bend and step back to downward facing dog. Once again, if you like, you can out here. If you want to flow, we'll give you a little time and wait for you. Alright, then we're going to, from our down dog, deep breath in, lift that left leg high. Step the foot through, dial down the back foot, rise up, warrior one, open up to two. Once again, destination triangle pose. Straighten that front leg, reach that right arm up and gaze upward. Take the left leg. Or once again, if you got a block, fantastic prop to use in this pose. Once again, that top shoulder pulls back. Press the hips forward, opening up a little bit more. Slowly bring that top hand down. Both hands framing that front foot. Step that back foot up as you need. Leg for pyramid pose. Once again, if you have a block, fantastic to use. Trouble straight. Tip it forward, straighten the leg, and then reground the back leg. Slowly bend into that front knee. And then here it comes, our second time. Wide-legged straddle fold. So walk those hands over to the right. Separate the feet as wide as you want them to be and find that you'd like to take. So it's our last chance at it. So if you want to do it on your side, if that felt good to you, do it again. If you want something different, try something new. You just might like it. If the hands are up, gently bring them back to your mat. Carefully walk them over towards your left foot. Bend into the knee. And step it back to downward facing dog. Option to flow if you like. Or simply hang out right here. Alright then, from our down dog, slowly lower down to our knees. Cross the feet at the ankles. Walk them through a little bit. We're going to come to lying on our backs for our back bending series. We're going to do 3 rounds of bridge or wheel, whatever you choose to do. So we'll start off here, keeping the soles of the feet on the mat. Walk the heels towards the seat as close as you can get them. If you have a block nearby, you could take a supported bridge for all 3 rounds if you like. So I'm going to take a nice deep breath in and lift those hips up. So if you have a block, if you hips, it works for you. The block has 3 sides, so whatever side works for you. And if you want to lift up a little higher, clasp those hands underneath you. Walk those shoulders underneath. And slowly lower down. Bring the knees to touch and windshield wiper those legs back and forth. Resetting the spine. And let's set up for our bridge or wheel number 2. So whenever you're ready, lift those hips up nice and high. And gently lower down. Bring the knees to touch. Windshield wiper the legs back and forth. Setting up for our 3rd and final round. Bridge or wheel, yogi's choice, you go where you go. Send it up. And slow. Once again, bring the knees back together. Windshield wiper the legs. We're going to stay on our back. We're going to do a little bit of core work. Place them underneath your lower back. Extend the legs out in front of you. Then we're going to take the heels, take the feet up to the sky. Lower down 30 degrees. Lower down 60. Bring them to a hover. Look up at your feet. And flutter kick the feet for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Send the legs up. Lower 30, 60. Look up at the feet and scissor kick the feet for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Send them back up. Lower down 30, 60. Bring them to a hover. Look up at the feet. Keep the heels together and lift them lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Hug the knees into your chest. Give yourself a couple rocks from side to side. Now we're going to set up for our inversion of your choice. So if you would like to take shoulder stand, if that's in your practice, if you'd like to take legs up a wall, which is exactly what it sounds like, you just simply scoot yourself against the wall, take the legs up a wall, and you're there. Or if you would like to take waterfall, or my favorite, supported waterfall, which I will demonstrate for you. If you have a block, this is fantastic. All you have to do is just simply rock forward against your lower back. Keep those feet nice and high to the ceiling. You can do whatever you like with the arms. I like to leave them out by the sides. You can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. You can place them down by your sides or overhead. Just whatever feels good for you. You can close. Breathe. It's a very calming, relaxing pose. Reversing the blood flow to the heart. Reversing the blood flow to the brain. And giving your feet a little bit of chance to be on top of the world. They don't get that very often. Feet need loving too, so this pose will do it for you. And slowly begin to come down from the pose. If you have a block beneath your back, gently release it, rolling down one vertebrae at a time, coming to lying on our backs, pausing here for a few breaths. Then we're going to bring our knees to splay open for our Supta Baddha Konasana, or so with this pose, you can bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Same variations as waterfall if you want to take the arms out to the side, or down by your side. This is also a very relaxing pose. And carefully bring the knee, placing the soles of the feet on our mat. We're going to stay on our backs for our hip opening series. We're going to do a nice gentle hip opener today. So we're going to take a reclined pigeon. So I'll face you to show you what that looks like. So you're just from here, we're going to start with our right leg, or if you like, left leg. So take that right foot, cross it over that left thigh. And if this is enough for you, you could simply stay right here. If you want a little bit more, you can press down on that knee. If you still want a little more, reach through those legs, grab onto that shin, squeeze it in. Or if you like, you can grab behind the thigh and go that way. So we'll be here for a little while because the hip openers, the hips are a very large muscle group. They take a while to open, so relax, breathe, and allow those hips to open. Gently come out of the pose, lower that foot back down to the ground. This time we're going to take the left leg, or whatever leg you didn't do, cross it over the right. And if you like, just stay right here. If you want to press down on the knee, or reach through the shin, squeeze in that way, or squeeze behind the back of your thigh, whatever you like, whatever feels good. Slowly out of the pose. Lower the foot back down. And once hug them into the chest. Give yourself a few rocks side to side. Take a few rocks forward and back. And come to sitting up, facing the front of your mat with the legs extended out in front of you. So we're going to take a couple forward bends. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. Take the right foot. Place it inside the left thigh like you were in tree pose. Deep breath in. Reach up nice and tall. Ground down through the sit bones. Exhale, fold forward over that straightened leg. Slowly release the foot, sit back up, take the legs out in front of you, maybe draw out the legs if you need to, and then take that left foot inside the right thigh, ground down through the sit bones, reach up nice and tall, exhale, fold forward over that straightened right leg. Carefully release the foot, straighten out that left leg, draw out the legs if you need to, and we're going to do, for equanimety's sake, we're going to fold over both legs, so ground down through the sit bone, reach up nice and tall, and lean it forward over both legs, balancing out everything. Life is about balance. Carefully release the feet and come all the way back to lying on your backs. Hug those knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. And then grab onto the knife edges of your happy baby pose. So you can rock side to side if that feels good. Or remain stillness, whatever you like, as we begin to wind down. Bring the knees back to center. Squeeze everything in. Then take the arms nice and wide like a T. Gently let the knees fall over to your right side. Gaze over your left shoulder for a nice little supine twist. Gently bring the knees back to center and allow them to fall over to your left side. Gaze over that right shoulder for a supine twist to the side. Back to center. Squeeze the knees in. Final forehead up to your knees. Take a nice deep breath in. On your exhale, slowly relax everything. Allow everything to fall gently to your mat. Arriving at our final most healing pose of Shavasana. So simply relax. Let go of the breath. Let go of the practice. Allow your body to simply melt into your mat and just be. Remaining in stillness, begin to come back to your normal pattern of breathing. Breathing awareness back in your bodies, beginning to reawaken. And start to find some gentle movements in the fingers and the toes. Take a nice deep breath in, reach the arms long overhead for a nice full body stretch. Bringing the feet to the mat one at a time. And gently roll over onto your right side using your bicep as a pillow. Taking a few brief moments to ground yourself in gratitude, thanking yourself for your practice. Doing something nice for yourself today. Taking time out for a little bit of self-care. And keeping the eyes closed. Gently press your way up to an easy seated position facing the front of your mats. With our hands at prayer at heart center. Let's take one more nice deep breath in. Circle sweep the arms nice and high overhead. Exhale, hands back to prayer at heart center. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for showing up and practicing with me today. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. And until we meet again, let us all share together. Namaste.